Hello Jambites, if you are preparing for the forthcoming JAMB examination, this video will show you the 40 questions your colleagues were asked in 2020 JAMB CBT Economics examination. And these questions are purposefully removed the answers and only left the question so that we can be able to reason on the answers to this question from this video. Now, I want you to pay attention to each and every of these questions because this is a typical of what your computer-based test is going to be like. But in that one, you'll be given options. So if you do this without an option and you're able to reason out the answers, I guess you should be able to also reason out the answers easily and faster when you are given the one with more options. And that is why I removed the option. So join me in this video to the end as we analyze these 40 JAMB 2020 CBT economics questions, and then we'll come out with the answers for each of these questions. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell icon so that you can be reminded of updated questions whenever we publish them, because we publish questions like this once in a while for JAMB students. And don't forget to share these videos with your friends and colleagues. Now let's get started. The first question we're going to look at is question number 1. And that question says the residual of production which acquires to the ownership of loans after all other expenses have been met is called. Now pay attention if you have read more on the residual of production. The answer to this question, the options that you are given, one of the options is rent. And the answer to this question is rent, because the residual of production which acquires to the ownership of loans after all other expenses have been met is what is the rent. When you give out something, the what comes out from that production, part of production, after you've met all other expenses is the money you pay for your rent. Question number 2 say the downtime in the price of shares on stock market is a highlight or the regulatory nature of the market. Note the regulatory nature of the market. Now number 3 say what is the effect of decrease in supply where demand is constant? If you have read well your economics, you would be used to the demand and supply curve. And if you are used to the demand and supply curves, you realize that when the supply decreases and demand remain constant, something will happen to the price. Definitely there will be there will be increase in price. And in that situation, the quantity in the market will start decreasing because supply is what is in the decrease. So I want you to pay attention, go and check your demand supply curve very well, and then you come to realize that the answer to this question is increase in price and decrease in quantity. What is the effect of decrease in supply where demand is constant? The effect is that there will be increase in price. There will also be decrease in what? Quantity. Question 4. To control inflation, the monetary authority of a company can do one thing, and that is engage in a restrictive monetary policy. They will have to engage in a restrictive monetary policy. Question 5. Natural growth rate can be calculated by what? How do we calculate natural growth rate? Natural growth rate will be equal to natural growth rate of a population is equal to the debt rate plus the net immigration. So it's equal to the number of people that are dying daily plus the net number of people that are inflowing a given country. That is the natural growth rate. That is how you can calculate the natural growth rate. Now, question number 6 says, in the analysis of utility theory, the basics of demand is diminishing utility. Diminishing utility. Question number 7. In the money market, money can only be borrowed for short term. That is what the answer is, short term. Now, question number 8 says, the customer cooperative society is owned by who? The cooperative society, which is for customer, is owned by members of the cooperative. Now, question number 9. We are asked to find the median of the following set of scores. And remember, to calculate the median of a given set of score, all you need to do is to arrange the number in ascending or descending order, and then you check the median. The median is a middle number among some set of numbers. So we'll have 5, we have 6, we have 8, we have 9, and we have 10. Right? This goes for this other side. This goes here. This goes here. This goes here. So the middle number is 8. So our result for this question is 8. 8 is the median of the following set of scores. Question number 10. In a public company, entrepreneurship functions are performed by the. In a public company, remember, is a public companies that have the various cadres in the company. Entrepreneurship functions are performed by the following. What is the function of an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is innovative and creative. An entrepreneur take risk and organize his business. An entrepreneur take decision, do the work of organization and management. An entrepreneur is the one who allocate employees duties to every various employees. So this function can only be done in any public company by the board of directors. So in the option provided, the board of directors are there. So the right option is the board of directors. Question number 11. One major export crop in West Africa is, remember they said one major. They might write other export crop, but the major export crop in West Africa is cocoa. We also have cotton, we also have rubber, but the most major export crop is cocoa. Question number 12. Dash expresses the relationship between the dependent and the independent variable. That is what we call the functions. The functions expresses relationship between the independent and the dependent variables. Now the next one, question number 13. Microeconomics was made popular by who? We have various options in the question, but the best option is John M. Keynes. I want you to research that. John M. Keynes, that is the one who made microeconomics popular. Question number 14. Distribution of goods and services is hindered by what? The options, we have many options, but the best answer is too many middlemen and other factors. There are too many, if there are too many middlemen in the distribution of goods and services, it will hinder what? Distribution. Question number 15. Census of population is usually conducted every how many years? Usually conducted every 10 years. 16. Which bank is known as Post Office Bank? The bank we know as Post Office Bank is a merchant bank. Question number 17. A firm's main aim is to any firm that is established, their main aim is to maximize what? Profit. Use the resources around them and their products to maximize what? Profit. That's their main aim. Question 18. In a socialist economy, factors of production are owned and controlled by we have various types of government. So when we live under a socialist government, factor of production is owned and controlled by who? Is owned and controlled by the government. Question 19. The market where buyers and sellers of currency meet is known as what? Specifically, remember, buyers and sellers of currency, not any other thing. Then remember the acronym. Buyers and sellers of currency. That is where the market we call the foreign exchange market, a forex market. Remember, we call it our forex market. That is our foreign exchange market. That's what we call it, foreign exchange market. Question number 20 says taxes which are levied on a person's expenditure are known as what? What kind of tax are that? Is that we call them purchase what? We call them purchase tax. When they are levied on people's expenditure, they are purchase tax. And they are under indirect what? Indirect system of taxing. Remember, they are under the indirect system of taxes because these are taxation on expenditures. Now let's look at the next question. The next question says the additional revenue obtained by using one more unit of a factor is called, question 21, marginal revenue product. I want you to check out those curves and find out the answer. Question number 22. A firm's compulsory cost is referred to as its fixed cost. Fixed cost. Question number 23. The assumption of economic analysis are rationally and other things being equal. Those are the 2 points. The assumption of economic analysis are always rational and other things being what? Equal. Now let's look at question 24. Question 24 says a firm is at its optimum size when it produces the greatest output at the minimum. A firm is at its optimum size when it produces the greatest output at the minimum. Question 25. When a variable is associated with time period, it is what? A flow. A flow. When it is associated with time period, it is a flow. Question number 26. The full meaning of OPEC is what? Now you see it in the option, and the option might be distorted to confuse you. But make sure that the meaning is Organization of Petroleum Exporting countries in plural, not country. Countries in plural. Question number 27. State-owned enterprises are more common in centrally planned economies. Centrally planned economies. Now, question number 28. Question number 28. Question number 27 is centrally planned economies. Question number 28. Commercial banks are example of joint stock banks. Joint stock bank. Now, 29. Efficiency of labor is enhanced by improved what? Improved working condition and training. Improved working condition and training. Now, let's move to question number 30. Question number 30 says, the production strategy used in overpopulated country is what? The production strategy used in overpopulated countries is, from the options given, the best options is labor intensive. I want you to make that research. Question 30. Labor intensive strategy is a production strategy that is used in an overpopulated country. Now, question number 31. Question number 31. Internal trade has general effect on dash of a country. The internal trade has general effect on what part of the country's economy? On the country's GDP. And what is the GDP? It has general effect on the country's gross domestic product. And what is a country gross domestic product? We call it the country's gross domestic product, GDP. And the country gross domestic product is the total monetary or market value of all the finished goods and services produced within a country's border in a given time period. So when a country makes money from such goods and services produced, it builds their internal trade, and that is what we call the gross domestic product. Question number 32. The headquarters of the African Development Bank, AFDB, was originally located where? Make sure you check questions like this, you always see them, especially for the World Bank, African Development Bank, and the rest. Is originally located in Abidjan, which is in Côte d'Ivoire. Question number 34. Dash is the measurement of steepness of the line or curve that emerges on the graph. That is slope. Now, question number 35. Banks create money by what? Question 35. By lending out deposits to what? To borrowers. When you go to bank, you deposit your money. The bank does not just keep your money and wait for you to come and collect your money back. They make more profit from that money by lending that money to people who want to borrow, or they use such business to make money. So by so doing, bank creates money by borrowing your own money, by lending out your deposit to borrowers. That's the option. So lending out deposits to borrowers. Question number 36. The situation whereby government revenue is less than government expenditure is referred to as what? That's what we call budget deficit. In the government line, we call it budget deficit. And what is budget deficit? Is when a government revenue is less than the government expenditure. On the other hand, we have what we call the budget surplus. The budget surplus is when government is bringing in more money than it spends. So when a government receives more money on taxes than it spends on its defense, welfare, military, education and health, we can say that government is having a budget what? Surplus. Question number 37. Dash and dash of goods and factor of production brought the existence of price. What and what? That is what? That is scarcity and usefulness of goods and factor of production brought the existence of what? Price. Without scarcity and usefulness of goods and factor of production, there will be no existence of price. That is where pricing comes in. 38. The most common form of business in West Africa is The most common form of business in West Africa is a sole proprietorship. And what is a sole proprietorship? Sole proprietorship is a business that can be owned and controlled by an individual, can also be owned and controlled by a company or a limited liability partner. Example of a sole proprietorship is when you have a business like an artist, you have an artist shop, you have an IT consultant store, you have a local cloth store. All these are examples of sole proprietorship. Now let's look at question 39. The term of trade simply mean the price ratio of export towards the import. That's when the country talks about the terms of trade. It talks about the price ratio of their exports and to their import what? To their imports of products. Question number 40 says the tax imposed on goods produced within the country. What's the name of this tax? We call it the what? The excise, the excise tax. The excess tax. And what is the excess tax? Is a tax that is imposed on goods that produce within the country. Remember, we have two types of taxation. We have the direct taxation and the indirect taxation. Direct taxation is taxation on income you earn in a country, while indirect taxation is a taxation on expenditure. So the excess goods is income, is an expenditure, is a tax that is imposed on expenditure, which is on your goods that are produced within the country, and is closely related to in the same category with value added tax, which is the normal VAT. So I want you to take good note of that. So example of all these are under the indirect tax, which are the taxation on expenditure. These are the 10 questions that you can see in your exam. Note, when you go to take your computer-based exams, the questions are interpolated. So your question 10 might not be your friend's question 10. It might be question 25 of your friend. So when you go in and you write the questions and you give to your friend, you've automatically failed your friend. So go in, take your own exams, make sure you get the right options and come out. Do not spread the question and the answer to anyone. Please note that, and that's what you'll be told during your CBT examination. I know you do enjoy the revision of these 40 questions, 2020 past question, CBT examination past question, which was taken as the first batch, 7 a.m. Do share this video with your friends and colleagues who are taking economics too. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, remember to like the video so that this video can go to as many persons as possible. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you watch our subsequent videos.